You did everything right. Stable income, decent credit, you even found a place with a lower monthly payment. So why, years later, are you still renting? Why does it feel like you're moving forward, but somehow staying in the same place? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The thing you thought was saving you money is the exact reason you're not building wealth. And once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. 1. The trap that looks like a smart decision. It doesn't feel like a mistake. In fact, it feels responsible. You're comparing numbers, looking at monthly costs, choosing the cheaper option. Lower rent equals more savings. That's the logic. And on the surface, it makes perfect sense. But here's what's actually happening underneath. You're optimizing for comfort today instead of control tomorrow. Because the system isn't designed to reward lower payments, temporary flexibility, short-term thinking. It rewards one thing: ownership. Every rent payment you make, it disappears. No equity, no leverage, no long-term position. Just gone. And the most dangerous part? It feels normal, because everyone around you is doing the same thing. 2. Why lower payments are the real illusion. This is where most people get it wrong. They think, if I keep my expenses low, I'll win. But money doesn't work like that. Because wealth isn't built by what you save, it's built by what you own. Let's break it down simply. Person A pays $1,500 in rent, saves $300 per month. Person B pays $2,200 for a mortgage, builds equity plus appreciation. At first glance, Person A looks smarter, lower cost, more savings, but zoom out 5 years. Person A saved some cash, still renting. Prices went up. Person B owns an asset, gained equity, rode appreciation. Same income, different outcome. Because one person optimized for monthly relief and the other optimized for long-term position. That's the shift most people never make. 3. The hidden cost of waiting. Waiting feels safe. I'll buy later, when prices drop, when I earn more. But waiting has a cost nobody talks about. Lost time. And in money, time is everything. Because while you're waiting, home prices are rising. Inflation is eroding cash. Rent is increasing. And most importantly, you're missing ownership cycles. Here's the brutal reality. You don't need perfect timing. You need time in the system. Because wealth doesn't come from one perfect decision. It comes from being early and staying in. Every year you delay, you don't just pause progress, you reset it. 4. How the system quietly keeps you stuck. This isn't accidental. The system is built this way. Think about it. Renting gives you flexibility, low commitment, predictable monthly costs. But it also keeps you dependent. You never gain leverage. You never build equity. You never escape the cycle. Because every year, rent goes up. Your money resets to zero. You start over. Meanwhile, owners are locking in costs, building equity, letting assets grow. Same economy, different rules. And here's the trap. Renting feels easier, so people stay longer than they should. Not because they can't leave, but because they don't see the cost of staying. 5. The real shift, from payment thinking to position thinking. This is where everything changes. Most people think in payments. How much per month? But wealthy people think in positions. What do I own? Because payments keep you stable, ownership makes you powerful. The shift looks like this. This rent is cheaper. This asset builds equity. I'll wait for a better deal. I'll enter the market. I want flexibility. I want control. This doesn't mean buy anything, rush blindly. It means stop measuring decisions only by monthly comfort. Start measuring them by long-term leverage. Because the goal isn't to spend less, it's to own more. 6. How to break out of the rent loop. Let's make this real, because this isn't just theory. This is a decision that quietly shapes the next 10 years of your life. If you're stuck in this trap, here's how you start breaking out. 1. Stop optimizing only for monthly cost. Cheap isn't always smart. That lower rent, it might feel like you're saving money, but if that money isn't building anything, it's just delaying progress. Start asking a better question. What does this payment build over time? Because a payment that builds equity beats a payment that disappears. 2. Build entry, not perfection. This is where most people freeze. They wait for the perfect house, the perfect location, the perfect price. And while they wait, the market moves without them. You don't need your dream home. You need a starting point, something you can grow from, something that gets you in the game. Because once you're in, momentum starts working for you. 3. Think in 5 to 10-year windows. Short-term thinking keeps you renting. Because yes, owning might feel heavier at first. Higher payments, more responsibility. But zoom out, 5 to 10 years changes everything. Rents rise, assets grow, equity compounds. And suddenly, what felt expensive becomes the smartest move you made. 4. Understand leverage. This is the part most people underestimate. Real estate isn't just a place to live. It's a wealth-building tool. You're controlling a large asset with a relatively small amount of your own money. That means appreciation works in your favor. Equity builds automatically. Inflation helps you, not hurts you. That's leverage. And renters, they don't get access to it. 5. Accept imperfect timing. This one is uncomfortable because everyone wants certainty, a perfect entry point, a guaranteed outcome. But in reality, perfect timing is a myth. And waiting for it usually leads to one thing: never starting. The people who win, they don't wait for perfect conditions. They move when it's good enough. Because the truth is simple. The trap isn't rent itself. It's staying in it too long. And the moment you shift from comfort to ownership thinking, everything starts to change. Final words. Right now, you're closer than you think. Not to buying a house, but to making a different decision. A decision most people avoid because it feels uncomfortable at first. Higher payment, bigger commitment. But here's the shift. Comfort today often costs you freedom tomorrow. And freedom, it's built slowly, quietly, through decisions that don't feel obvious in the moment. So before you leave, ask yourself one honest question. Am I choosing what's easy or what actually moves me forward? Because once you see this trap, you have two choices: stay in it or step out. Hit like if this changed how you see money. Subscribe for more real, no-fluff finance content. And comment below, I choose ownership, just to lock it in. Because your future isn't built by big moments. It's built by small decisions you stop avoiding. And this might be one of them.